Hi there, hope you're doing good. So here I am with another Google Sheet workflow automation, and in this automation, we'll be using some advanced formulas and Google App Script to pull the data from our Gmail account and fetch the data into the Google Sheets on this tab in this format. So let me get started explaining, and then I'll let you know the steps you need to follow at the end of the video. All right, so let's go to the control tab first. Okay, so this is the cell. So the yellow cells are basically input cells, and the gray cells are your headings or fixed cells. So you need to make the changes only in the yellow cell, not any other cells. One thing, and then uh, this one first field is asking for the email address. If you want to specify a specific email address through which you want to process the emails only, you can always type in the email address like notification@mailer.com or maybe any other email address. But if you don't want to specify a specific email address, you want to get all the emails from anyone, any email address having the other criteria filling in, you just need to leave it empty. So we'll leave it empty and it's going to consider all the emails with the subject, including the word service provider, as you can see in this one in here. So we have the word service provider. You can always copy this from here and paste it in here as well, which I already did. So you have no change required in here. Now this one. So how many days older address emails you want to process? As we can see, we have some emails, maybe 5 or 7 days earlier. So what I'm going to do at the first time, I'm going to run this with 10 days older email. So what I'm trying to say here is that process all the emails from last 10 or 9 days. And then once you get the emails with this criteria that having the word service provider, the emails from last 10 days, get the data in and paste the data in this results tab. As you can see, the name of the tab is the results. If you double click on it, you can just copy the text and paste it in here so that it can find, okay, once we have the criteria filled in and got the data, paste the data into the results tab in a specific format, which is we have already defined. And then this part is for the automation part where you want to specify that at what frequency this should go to the email, fetch the data and paste it in here. So this is saying that, okay, run this every one day at 800 hours, it means 8 a.m. and the time zone is GMT plus 5. I'll explain this GMT plus 5 control, why I gave you in here. I'll try to be specific as much as I can. And the other thing, because I have generated this sheet for you, created this sheet for you, so this might have some time zone thing. So you can always go to the file, which I mentioned in here, go to file, setting and time zone. So you can click on the file, setting and time zone. Just make sure that this time zone is the exact time zone which you want to use, -8. Currently we are using Pacific time, but if you want to make any changes like -5 or +5, any other number, you can always check in here. All right, so that is it from this side. Okay, let's go to the results tab, and here I can show you the custom menu I have built for you. And on this first menu, first option is saying activate the automation. This is basically relevant to this one, that you want to run this script every day at a specific time. So you just need to run this only one time, so it will trigger it. But if you want to change the time, for example, if you have already activated the automation at 800 hours, but you want to make any changes, you can always jump in here, change the time and run the script, run the automation again. So it's going to delete the older trigger and create a new trigger. So I'm going to make it 8 again. All right, so the second option is pull the data from. So yeah, we have already set up, once we have set up the trigger that it should run every day 800 hours, but we cannot wait for 800 hours. For example, if it is 700 hours, if you want to run the last 24-hour email address, you just need to click on this pull data from. This is basically manual control for the trigger. So if I'll run this manual, it's going to go for the last 10 days emails, matching the criteria with the word service provider and pulling out the data from this text, which is the name of the client, the time, meeting time, the email address and the phone number if available. And it is fetching the data perfectly, as you can see. Now, the extra thing on the GMT part here is that, as you can see, this email, this is saying, okay, the setting, the appointment is set for 29th February, 9 a.m. and it's showing 29th February, 9 a.m. But if you see, once you run it, if you see that, okay, no, the time is not matching with the email, you can always jump in here and change the time zone in here. For example, if you see, okay, let me make a change, so and then I'll fix it. So I'll make it +9 and clear the old data and pull the data fresh with the time zone of +10. Now you can see it's 29th February, but the time is 1 p.m., which is wrong. But it as in the meeting, it is 9 a.m. So we might need to make some adjustment only one time. So for example, if I'll make it -9, let's see what happens. I'll clear the data and pull the data once again. Now you can see it's not even 29th February, it is 28th February, and the time is 7 p.m., which is totally wrong. So one time, only one time when you are running this for the first time, it is currently working perfectly for me when I'm using it +5. And I have also set up the trigger, so it will run at 800 hours daily. But if you see in the results, I hope you won't, but if you find any discrepancy in the time or the date, we can always adjust it from this GMT cell. So this is what I was trying to explain all of this. Okay, I'll give you the short summary in the end about the steps you need to. All right, so there is another field, extra field, which is email ID. Initially, I was working other ways to find the matched email, and I want to repeat, I want to exclude the repeating appointment. For example, if someone like Maria is taking an appointment on 27th February, 2 p.m., I hope this is what my understanding with this data is, that she or he might not take the same appointment on the same day, on the same time. Doesn't make any sense, right? So this was the initial logic from my repeating, like avoiding the repetition. This was the earlier idea, but then I realized, okay, I don't need to use this. I can count one email only one time. For example, if the person is, for example, by mistakes sending the two emails with the same time and same date, we can also add that in here so that you can find the discrepancy and figure it out yourself. Or maybe I don't know, maybe there could be. So I'm not avoiding I'm not skipping the option. I'm leaving all the options open, and I'm using the best way to avoid the repetition, which is the email IDs. So each email on our Gmail address have a specific ID, and I'm going to use that. So one email will be processed only one time. Doesn't matter if you run this multiple times on the same day or maybe multiple days. The email already being processed will not get fetched the data again and again, even though if there is a change in it. So only one email will get processed only one time. This is what I'm trying to explain. But you are not going to see this because I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to use this on the background. And you will be seeing only the serial number, the timestamp at which the emails are being fetched, um, the name, the email ID, phone number, date and time both, which you asked for me to have the. But if yeah, all right. So now these steps you need to make. If you want to make any change, as I explained in the earlier video, you can make the changes and just run it. I'll make it 1. As I have already set up the trigger every day 800 hours, so it is going to work 800 hours every day, and it's going to fetch the data for last 24 hours, because we are selecting 1. It means last 24 hours. Last 24 hours doesn't mean the hours, it means the date. Like for example, if today is 9th February, it is going to check only for today's date, right? This is what we are trying to explain in 1. So if you will make it 2, it means last 2. It means today's day and the yesterday's. Any email from today or yesterday will get fetched in. So I'll make it 1. So it's going to fetch. Once we are in a flow, it's going to fetch the data at every day 800 hours, whatever the email addresses are there. We can always make it 2. I think we can keep it 2. Yep, that's great. So nothing to change, make the changes in here. You just need to see if the date and time are matching with your email address only once. This is what you need to do. And we are set to go. And I think I hope that everything will work fine. And I'll monitor this for maybe 2 or 3 days as well. Yep. I have tried to explain all the things I did, but still, if I miss something or if you want any clarification on any of the other part, please do let me know. I'm here to explain. And if you want any further modifications, looking forward for your review and response. Have a nice day ahead. Take care. Bye.